Good afternoon and welcome back to Growing Together, episode number 4. Today we have one of our members from South Kenya Lutheran Church, Terry Satrang. Am I right?
That's right.
Terry, how you doing today?
Good.
Doing good? Are you
Better,
excited about this?
better than I deserve. No, I'm not.
Terry, first of all, thank you so much for coming today. I think I have the opportunity to talk before this with you, and I know we're going together through the affirmation of baptism,
Mm-hmm.
right? And I think that program actually it's moving stuff around, and I what you share with us, it's amazing, and I think you have a lot of things to share. That's what I brought you here today. So I really appreciate that you're here.
I'm going to shut this thing off.
Go for it.
Okay.
Terry, so help our listeners and our viewers to understand who you are. How do you think people will describe you?
I don't know. I really don't know. I'm not outgoing. I mean, I'm not. I'm not a. I think I'm a social person because I like friends and we like to get together with people and stuff like that. But other than that, I guess I'm just one of the people that are here, and if a job needs to be done, I can do the job. So.
Yeah. All right.
I don't have. Probably never been asked that question. So.
Sorry about that. That's my fault.
No.
Would you say that you're an extroverted or introverted person?
I would say I'm an introvert.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Is that when you like to meet other people? Introverted, is that, or that's when you're more like quiet?
No, I'm more the
That-
extrovert would be my wife.
Cookie?
Yeah.
All right. Well, you make the perfect match.
Yeah, very very social.
Yeah.
Very social.
Yeah. That sounds good.
You know.
Terry, how long you been member of this congregation?
Well, we moved to Rapid City in 1990, and so we would have joined, probably sometime within 6 months to a year after that. I don't know exactly when we joined, but sometime in the 1991 era.
All right. Like around 32 years.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 27 and I born on the 1993, so.
Okay.
There you go. 30 years, 30 some, right? Tell me about your hobbies. What do you like to do? Do you still work, or how's those things going?
Well, I gave up my work, which was debatable.
Okay.
I was involved in electronics most of my life, and I've always enjoyed it, and so that's something. The hobbies I had, most of them, have kind of faded off into, you don't do them anymore or something like that. Things change in life, and so my main thrust now is to take care of the genealogy, which I have, gobs of that was kind of handed down to me, and so what I'm doing is going through it and sending it out to anybody and everybody that would be involved in it. So.
Okay. What are you, an outdoor person, or you like to be at home, or did you?
Oh no, I've drugged my wife with me all over the world.
Wow.
I've been in, I think 14 different foreign countries.
Wow.
So.
Is Mexico in one of those?
Yeah, we've been there several times. Yeah.
That's good.
It wouldn't be a favorite, but that's nothing to do with the country. That's just just the way things are.
Yeah.
A number of years ago, we lived in Aberdeen, and we had a foreign exchange student from Chile.
Okay.
And that was an interesting thing to have a 17-year-old girl from Chile come and visit you and live with you for a year. That spoke, I think at that time she spoke 4 languages when she came at 17. And a very spirited, was a wonderful experience. So
I'm sure. How that Did that like was exchange program or
Yeah.
you knew these people
No,
before?
it was the exchange program. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how's to receive a person that you don't know to your house? How that feels?
Well, I don't know. You just take them in and treat them just like they're one of the family or something like that. That's what we've done. I mean, we've had a lot of people that we met in our travels and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And being at the chapel, we spent 6 years at the chapel in the hills,
Okay.
and that's where we met a number of people. We've got friends from Norway and places that came and spent time there or visited, and they just, we hit it off together.
Mhm.
So.
Do you still have contact with that person, with that girl?
Yeah, she was here 2 years ago. Her and her
Okay.
family, and her two boys, her husband, and yeah. So
It's just to see another like, um, I mean, you're treated like a family, so like a
yeah,
child, right? To grow
yeah.
and then.
And they
That's
came and
amazing.
we toured with them and and took them around and everything. They stayed with us for a week and so and that she's been back I think 3 times now. So
That's
and
amazing.
her boys are studying all over the world. One of them has been in Germany and France. One of them has been in Japan. They speak multiple languages.
Mhm.
I look at their education system or maybe with the level they're at, and I think, wow, where are we at?
Mhm. Mhm.
So I don't know.
I mean,
It just makes it a really different life experience, to have
yeah,
that happen.
yeah. Do you think that life experience? Do you think you impact in that girl? Do you think that you make an impactful like?
Oh, I know full well we did,
Okay.
because I know the way she has brought up her two boys
Mhm.
and gave them, I mean, my travel came from my mother
Mhm.
because my mother was a traveler.
Okay.
Even though, a funny experience because my mother had a good banker
Okay.
because she never had any money.
Mhm.
But she had a banker who would borrow her money to go on the trip, and then it took her sometimes the whole next year to pay it back.
Mhm.
And then she'd borrow the money again and go on another trip.
Okay. So you get that adventure part from your mom.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Um, so I invite you here to share a little bit about your spiritual and faith journey with the people that are listening and watching us right now.
Okay.
And I have some questions that I want to go through.
Okay.
But first of all, like, tell me people about that has been impactful on that journey.
Well, I mean, obviously my mother, because she was the one that she was the one that made us sit in the first or second row going to church. So
Have you been Lutheran your whole life?
yes. Yeah.
I always heard that Lutherans don't like to sit in the front rows.
Well, that wasn't my mother. We were to church early,
Okay.
and we still laugh about that. But we were never late for anything. That was one of the things my mother instilled in us. If you were going to be somewhere, the respect to wherever you were going was to be there on time or before.
Okay.
So that's just the way you're raised. So
And that's the way that you are.
yeah.
Yeah. Who else? Do you have like a mentor or it was
No,
most family?
no, I don't. I mean, I had two grandfathers. In fact, after my father passed away, we lived with my grandfather, my mother's father,
Mm-hmm.
for I think a year or more or something like that. But I don't know. There wasn't probably a lot of mentoring there. My grandfather Satrang was a very, he was there and did what he had to do, but you could almost never talk to him. That's just the way you grew up. They were to be respected, and you didn't
really
you didn't
basic.
sit down in the corner and talk to him. That wasn't what was done. So
Okay. So you said your mom, it's always been that base
Yeah.
for faith and like how you are.
yeah, because really, other than some friends that they were there when you were there, so
Mhm.
you were there together. But as far as being a mentor or anything, no, I didn't have not anything like that.
Mhm.
No,
Okay.
would come to my mind.
Okay. What was your mom's name?
Dorothy,
Dorothy?
yeah. Actually Dorothea,
Okay.
but she got rid of that when she was young. She didn't like it, so they changed it to Dorothy. So
Okay. Okay. Um, during the day, right, we have a lot of things going on.
hmm
Where do you find God during your day?
well, I think for the most part, if you want to open your mind, it's the sun shining, the clouds, you can see it everywhere. The construction of the earth,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's why the travel was was one thing that really intrigued me because you get to see all of this. You get to see the design. You get to see, why is this that way? Why does this happen? Why does this? I have a unusual look at things a lot of times, and I've had people tell me I'm sarcastic, but
Uh-huh.
I look at the world a lot different, I think, than a lot of people do. I see things going on today that are created by people.
Okay.
I wonder what their faith is and what their beliefs are. But no, I mean, I can find that. I mean, I get in my vehicle and drive.
Mm-hmm.
Where did the intelligence come from to design that and put it on the road?
Okay. So
That's,
you think like God is like, well, God is everywhere, right?
yeah.
But
Yeah.
all everything that we have created, you you believe that God has at least like a sprinkle of like something like God
Well,
was there.
well, he put us together, and our mind, our mind is designed to think and come up with ideas. I mean, how do you come up with some of these? What did Albert Einstein? How did he come up with the theory that he has?
Mm-hmm.
Just by studying what God had made in his mind. I don't know, but the human mind is an incredible thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I never think it like that, like that's what you hear, man. Like I think if we talk about like a lot of like scientists like don't believe it about like God, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you're putting something like you're studying like everything that God has created. So somehow you're still related with that, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you read and study some of the scientists, many of them had a belief. They were not non-believers.
Mhm.
I think they trusted the fact that there was a supreme being, there was a design
Mhm.
that put a lot of this together
Mhm.
and gave them their ability to think.
Mhm.
And they definitely didn't think down this narrow path. No,
Mhm.
they had a broad view of everything.
Wow. That's
So I don't
very.
know.
I mean, I don't know either. I think like the way that you're like like putting the stuff right now on the table is like it's amazing. Like I would say like you're almost right. Like I would say that because like I mean I'm not a scientist, but I believe like God like gave us like the intelligence to create stuff and like God has helped the humanity like to keep moving forward, right?
hmm
So yeah, I mean,
I mean, well, I look at things like, uh, global warming is one.
okay.
If you go back in the study, there's a gentleman who did a bunch of work a number of years ago, and according to him, we will be coming into a new ice age. Excuse me.
That's okay.
But you look at stuff like that, and people talk about the warming and the cooling and all of that. That's in the design. It's made that way. So why worry about it?
Okay.
Because it is global warming. Yeah, you can just go back through and look back through history of the millennia in the past. The Earth has warmed and cooled how many times? I mean, we had glaciers
Mm-hmm.
in the area I grew up in, northeast South Dakota. We had glaciers at that level. And not that long ago, when you think about it,
Yeah.
I mean, long ago in our life, but I mean, So I mean, in that simple design of the cycles, Ecclesiastics, you've heard the song, right? To every day there, to every time there is a, how does that go? Turn, 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 you know?
I mean,
Ecclesiastes 3, you've never read that and never heard the song that was written,
no.
and that's what it talks about. The cycles, the turning that goes on and on.
I mean, I'll read it now.
Yeah.
I mean, now I'm gonna read it. I mean, I'm curious about it.
Yeah, that was a song in the 60s and it was very popular. And a lot of people probably didn't realize where it came from, but that's what it was, and I can't for the life of me think right now who wrote it. But it was taken out of I think Ecclesiastes 3 is where it came from.
Okay.
And it talks about the turn, turn, turn. To every day there is a,
Okay.
so
Okay.
that kind of stuff,
I'll check it out, man.
Okay.
I'll check it out. Would you have something impactful, or an impactful experience that like help you to form your faith?
I would say no. I would say it's just been, an experience that, it's kind of been the road you go down in life, I guess. It's something that went along with me as I went through life. Good times and bad times, I mean, I mean, life is a very up and down, curvy, rocky road, and anybody who tells me different, that's fine. I mean, that ain't been my life, but
I mean, you mentioned that like, you lost your father, right? At what age was that?
9,
Okay. And how? I mean, sometimes when we're like 9 years old, right, or like when we're a child, we don't like understand like what's happening.
Yeah.
What was your sense of that?
Well, if you look back and I think about it, because we had been on a farm, and then when my father got sick, everything just kind of came apart, because that's when we moved into town and lived with my grandfather, my mother's father. And you came out of a country school with like 10 or 12 kids, and you were thrown in a classroom with 30 or 40, and you were way behind already, just the way the life was. And I don't know.
Do you
traumatic experience? Yeah, I'm sure it was.
yeah, I'm sure it was. Yeah,
You
for
know?
sure. Do you think that after that, like that experience, do you became a different person even when you were a child? Did you lost faith in God, or do you like actually like got closer to God to ask for like strength, help, or how that worked? Like,
At that time, I don't know. I wouldn't be able to tell you that at that time. That's where my mother, was the leader, and the people that we knew at that time, and that's the way our life was. So it wasn't. I don't think there was no dramatic change, or other than those changes when you were moving at that age, and not knowing what was going on, and meeting tons of new people that you didn't know, and that kind of stuff.
okay. So we're getting closer now to that point of like close the podcast, right? But I really appreciate what you've been sharing with us at this point.
Okay.
And I have some more like a little bit personal questions.
Okay.
So the first one is, what would you think is your purpose?
There's a book that we shared about the purpose-driven life, and we've read that. But I guess my purpose is to go down the road and to share what I can with people, and to just to do whatever job that I see in front of me, and whether that's helping, and to help people, to help others. We've done a lot of that. Just.
Is that something that like, because it sounds so simple, right? Like go down the road, help whoever is in front of you, right?
Hmm.
Do you think that's right now like complicated, or it still should be like so easy as you making it sound?
Well, and maybe it's because a lot of the way I was raised.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, there, you look at the scattered lives of some of people today, and where they don't know where they're going, and I think they're taking their life's example from people that maybe they shouldn't take them from. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe I was lucky in the way I grew up or the place I grew up or something like that, that I had enough, and I mean, was I a perfect child? Oh no, not by any way, shape, or form was I a perfect child. I have a lot of things racked up in my young life that I might not even share with you.
Yeah, no, that's okay. That's
But I mean that's part of life, and sometimes you run into the rock and you realize that you're not going to go through it. You're going to have to go around it. And sometimes the wall you hit was a lesson that made you say, okay, now I don't want to do that again.
okay.
So
All right, thank you. For what in your life do you feel the most grateful?
my health.
Your health? Why?
At my age, I, I'm 78 years old. I can go out today and run a half mile if I want to. I don't have aches and pains. Physically, if I want to do something, I can do it. I don't have any, I really don't have any problems. And I meet with some of my friends and stuff like that. I have a few high school friends around here, and I meet with some of them, and they have diabetes, they have heart problems, they have this and that and everything, and I don't. I'm a very blessed individual as far as my health.
That's a blessing, right?
It is. It's. I mean, without that, your whole focus otherwise becomes, I've got this problem. I mean, I've got this diabetes, or I have something that focuses my life on. And
So, because you don't have those um, problems, right? Why do you focus then? In what you're focused?
no, that's a good question.
You have
Well-
all this health and everything. What you're focusing on?
I mean, up until a year ago, it was work. I love my work. I mean, that to me was something that it was very mental. So because you had problems thrown at you every day, that you had people walking the door, and I was in electronics, the type of electronics. We did public service. Public safety communications was one of our majors. We did public safety communications for the whole western South Dakota. A lot of times you'd have somebody walk in the door that, some federal agent or who knows walked in the door and they have an issue. And so you dealt with that. And, that was a real focus of my life at that time, because, you had this problem. I'm a troubleshooter is what I look at. I've spent my whole life in electronics repairing or, making product work, taking these pieces and putting them together and making them work. Troubleshooting problems. That's been what a lot of my life has been.
Okay.
And, and so the mental part of that is, throw something out here that don't work, I got to figure it out. How do I figure it out?
I mean, so now that you have the time, right, that not think about that.
It's driving me nuts.
I mean, I'm sure it's hard. I'm sure retiring for some people is hard, right? Like
Yeah.
some people are looking forward to it, and
Well-
in your case, like, you're still dealing with it. You're still.
And the COVID has a lot to do with it. Because if there was something that you would have wanted to do right now, well, it's kind of put on hold. So that's kind of throwing a big wrench in a lot of things. You'd look at it and say, well, why worry about it now? Because I really can't do it anyway. So let's put it on the back burner, and maybe we can do it later. So
Okay.
that's why the genealogy now has become, getting close to becoming a major part, because that I have time to do, and I can do that at home, so I don't have to go run around or anything,
Okay.
which I'd much rather do, but
Yeah, I'm sure. It seems like you like to you like a lot of contact with people, right? Like, it seems like it's like that.
well, a lot of that has to do with Cookie, but I mean, we do. We have a lot of friends. We have a lot of people that we deal with, through some organizations we belong to, and and the church and stuff like that. And it's you like to be with people. I mean, uh, I've lost half of my family, and we don't see each other. My sister that's left is in a home in Watertown, and of course right now I couldn't even see her. So you have that issue. That we had wonderful families. Cookie is. I can't say this, so I'll have to tell you that alone. I can't tell everybody this, but no, she has a family of 8, and she's lost a brother. But wonderful group to get together with, So.
Okay. In the last one, when do you feel the most at peace? With everything that goes in your mind during the day, now that you have a lot of free time, where do you find peace?
Well, that
Let me ask you something. What is peace for you, first of all? And then where do you find it?
Yeah, you find peace for me would be just sitting down and maybe reading a book, or at times in my life I've done a lot of reading. I haven't done a lot of that lately, but getting away from all the noise and all of that. I mean, I could find peace by going out and hiking in the woods. I haven't run for many years, but I've ran, through my life I've ran 5 marathons, and that to me, just going out and running down the road was something that you could say was peace, because you were there, you're
in the moment.
Yeah, and you could say I'm with God, because God has given this body the ability to do, what it is. That's another miracle.
Yeah.
That's another thing I look at and I say, there's a song called "Why Me, Lord."
I have heard that one.
Yeah, Chris Christopherson. Yeah, and that's one I've listened to many times and said, okay, I can ask that question. So.
Okay.
Why the good times and the bad times, and but that's part of life, and I think a lot of life is in Cookie and I've been through a lot of things together, and that's the way life is. But it's going down that road, no matter how rough and rocky and curvy and hilly and everything else, and making the best out of it. Do we make good decisions? No, we've made some terrible decisions. But we've also made some really good ones, and I think it's how you handle the choices you've made. I mean, if you've made terrible bad decisions, sometimes you got to slap yourself and say, okay, wake up, let's go back down, let's fix this and go back down the road and get it taken care of. So,
do you think that God have planned already all that, or God is giving you the freedom to choose your path? Anyway, God already has a final point, right, to you to be there. But God is giving you all this freedom on that rocky road, right?
Well, I think we learned about free will, I think, young in our young Sunday school days. And I mean, no, if we were designed to be the robots run by God, a lot of things in this world wouldn't be there. Because we would be controlled to this point where this is what you're going to do. I designed you to do this, and this is what you're going to do, so don't even think about going any other way. And that isn't the way it is. I mean, basically we're thrown out and say, okay, live your life. Go out there, make decisions, pay the consequences, learn from them, and and then on going down the road. You know, I keep saying that, go down the road, but that's what life is. I mean, there's probably another song about a long and rocky road. I mean,
I'm sure there is.
I'm not a musician, and I wish I could do some of that. But I mean, I listened to a lot of radio and a lot of music, and you know, and there's a lot of information. There's a lot of things there that people could use if they would use it. You know, the unsocial media, which I call it, because that's what it is probably the biggest problem we have in the world today. That's my opinion.
Okay. And I'm sure other people like agree with that, and people are like not.
Oh yeah, they'd say. Oh,
the
no,
cool
no.
part is like everybody can have their own opinion, right? That's the cool part of this.
Well, I have a saying about that, but I won't share that with you either.
Yeah, no. You have so many things to share. You don't want to share it.
No, these are not good things to share.
No, that's okay. I really appreciate you to be here today and just to share that long road that you have like walk, right?
Yeah.
And I think I'm sure some people will find really impactful stuff, and you, like as you make that difference with that girl,
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of like there will be people that are gonna appreciate this a lot.
Yeah. Because I mean, it's like with Yanni, and that's what we called her. But and she has shared with us many times is the effect we had on her life, and she's now had the effect on her sons that way. You know, so you see the effect then they will have on as they marry and have children and stuff, and that. So you don't really think about that until you see an opportunity like that. Because I mean, a lot of the things she would come back and tell us. Oh, that's just the way life is. I mean, we never saw that as having a big effect on her. The things that affected her were things we would have never ever put on the list.
Wow.
You know, so I'm sure you've had that experience, you know, in your life where you came from and what you've been through and stuff like that, where somebody has touched you and you've told them that, you know, this is what you did for me.
Yeah. And they don't even expect
And
it.
and they don't even know, they don't even realize they did it. Yeah. So.
Thank you so much.
Okay. Thank you.
Terry, one more thing.
Okay.
3,000 questions about you. It's about me, but I'm asking
Okay.
it to you.
Oh well. Okay. Let's do 2150.
2150.
I have no idea why, but
All right. Is it God?
I don't know. It just come to mind.
All right. 21.
This could be scary.
2150. Should be over here. Have you ever received or bought a gag gift? If so, what was it?
A gag gift?
Yep.
Well, I'm sure I have, but right now to think of something, I just
Doesn't come to mind.
doesn't come to mind. No, I can't think of anything that because we've had in the past and you know some of the parties and gatherings you have like that, why you know you do things like that. But you buy silly things for people.
Yeah.
But I don't have nothing that really is right there. No.
All right. That's okay, man. Thank you so much for coming today. I think you already make an impact on me since the moment that we talked like last Sunday. And I really appreciate you being here, share your story, your journey with the people that are gonna like, that are listening and watching this. And I'm sure, I'm looking forward to keep like working with you, and I'm sure like there will be more people that would like to hear you. So
That's scary. No.
don't keep it for yourself. You have a lot of wisdom. Thank you so much.
Okay, well, thank you.
All right, guys. Thank you for watching us, and see you next week.